guys, welcome back to Kuma Reviews. This is one that I did not even know existed until just perusing TFW 2005 and seeing a random thread about it. So there's this guy who's become, I guess, Transformers third-party collector niche famous. A17, a lot of his work's on like Weibo and stuff like that, who does these really cool custom legend scale Transformers. So if I'm remembering right, it seems like he started off with doing kind of additional parts to existing like Iron Factory figures, and then he full on started doing his own figures that scaled with them. Now, what he did here was he created this small scale Flame Toys Optimus Prime. So basically, the aesthetic of the Flame Toys Kuro Karakuri, because they've done like 5 Optimuses or something like that at this point between their model kits and stuff like that. But that one in particular, he brought that aesthetic down, kept a lot of the articulation and stuff like that, and it looks like it picked up so much steam that I don't know if this is his company or this Great Works company just decided to work with them and have him design for him, or however it works. But anyway, this is Great Works Studio, GW-NO.01. It says 01-C, body and parts. So it comes with everything you need to not only have the Legend Scale Flame Toys Optimus, but a more IDW styled Optimus as well. It's kind of similar to like the Generation Toy OPEX and whatnot. Accessory wise, comes with his backpack with the boosters. This is a part to his giant axe, big turbo axe that came with the Flame Toys, the additional parts to turn him into the more IDW comic style parts, more parts, swords like the Flame Toys, his traditional blaster, the Flame Toy style sword, the Flame Toy style axes, a variety of hands, as well as like things like the, I don't know what to really call them, forearm guards, and additional hip skirts or whatever. And we'll go over all that. It takes a whole minute to get these parts changed out and get them from one mode to another, but it's really cool what all you get in the box. It was about $53 United States dollars, and the shipping, I guess that just varies depending on what you chose. I wanted it now, so I chose DHL shipping, which was another like $30, but not bad. $80. I definitely feel what I got, what I paid for, and honestly, and then some, because this came with some stuff that I didn't even know it had. But we'll go ahead and dig into this. We'll do some comparisons with not only other Legend Scale figures, but like maybe the Flame Toys, the Generation Toy, OPEX, things like that. And yeah, get you guys a good view on this, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments after you watch it. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Okay. With him at its most upright, no ab crunch used or anything like that, even though he does have it. He is right around 4 inches tall, maybe a 16th, you know, above 4 inches, but yeah, right in there. Not to give you guys a roundabout. And again, this is his base form. Nothing switched out. What's really cool is the translucent parts, and he does actually not only have light piping, but really good light piping. In fact, I'm gonna raise this up a bit. Okay. Now going over the articulation, his head is on a ball joint. So there is some up and down movement, side to side rock, but 360 swivel. Now the neck itself, where the neck meets the clavicle, it has no articulation at all. One solid piece there. All right. So moving on to the shoulders, they do butterfly. On these parts do, these smokestacks can go up so that you can put them parallel. Okay, 360. He does have 360 bicep swivel as well. And you just saw that twist at the forearm too. So, guess the cat's out of the bag on that. That does twist. Elbow. It's like double jointed to a point, if that makes sense. So, this is technically a swivel right here for the forearm, but there is some bend in it. So, yeah, go past 45 degrees there. All right. Now the wrist, they're a straight peg in, so just swivel, no more, no less. No articulation in the fingers, of course. That'd be crazy, but none. So looking at the waist here, it does actually have side-to-side rock at the top. At the waist itself, that's just a plain swivel. Now let's look. When it comes to back bend, he really doesn't have any. Okay, it goes back, but it's pretty straight up. The back plate meets the lower part of the back there, but because of that ball joint being a little bit above the waist, it can rock back some because of the waist itself. Now ab crunch, plenty of forward ab crunch, no real ab crunch from the lower waist, but all upper waist. And it does 360 at the waist, but it's kind of tight, so I don't want to mess with it. All right. Now these hip skirts, they do move up. The front skirts are on ball joints. They can flip forward. So what's crazy is that the outward swing on the thigh is actually a ratchet joint. That surprised the heck out of me. So it's like, okay. And that's removable. No real words about that. Forward swing, back swing, the back skirts, no movement there. There is a peg for a stand right there as well. All right. Thigh swivel. All right. And I'll talk a little bit more about these in a second. All right. And there's like a light ratchet at the top of the knee here. I don't know if that's a, yeah, it is. There's an actual ratchet there. And then, let's see. It does have a double joint there. So want to make sure that that's all good to go. And if you notice, there is some actual, like, has the knee in the middle that moves with. So that's cool. Now this is impressive. At the ankle, these skirts here, they do move. Okay. The ankle does pull out a bit so that you get further room for rotation. All right. Ankle tilt both ways. Really good amount. And then some front and back as well. All right. So there's a swing joint there as well as a ball joint as well. So as well. So yeah. And then there is movement on the front portion of the foot. None on the heel, but plenty of balance. All right. And one more look at him, and we'll start going into the accessories and stuff like that here shortly. Before I get started with the accessories, I just want to go over some kind of fixes that I had with this piece. So on the figure itself, I did have to ball joint some of the, like the elbows, the shoulder, one of like his right leg, the beginning of the ratchet, it's a bit softer than the other side. I don't know why. Polished the joint for the foot. That was really floppy too, as well as the ankle ball joints themselves. Now these pieces here, they stay in okay, but zooming in here, you can see that there's a like kind of a space in the middle of the two pegs. It closes in really easy. So what I had to do when I took them off for the first time was actually boil this piece to heat it up. And then I took a spudger tool and like kind of put it in the middle like that to space it out, right? And then I ran it under cold water to make it stay in place. And that might be something that has to be done every time for my copy of this, but we shall see. But getting that back, I just wanted to go over modifications that I had to do to get this playable, because these two pieces in particular are just plain falling out. Again, one more look. Now looking over some of the accessories. Comes with that big flame toy style sword. that can peg into his back right there. He comes with the smaller Flame Toy styled swords that can go into his hip. And of course, he can hold these weapons as well. We're just arming him up first. Okay, boom. Boom. Okay. There's that. All right, and here we go. Something simple. Just holding his long sword as well as pointing outwards. Okay. I do wish that the sword either had the ability to get these pieces at the hilt to like flip down, or they would just flip down in the first place if it had to be a static thing, but it's what it is. Alright, and here he is, more of a superhero landing pose. Holding one of the smaller blades in reverse. Good articulation on this piece. Alright, and here he is, giant battle axe. Armed up. Now, one thing that I do wish about this is that the clear on here was either a bit more of a vibrant orange, or they just straight painted it orange. You know, the swords are gold, but I mean, just a flat color would have been fine too. Would have popped a lot more. And I do like the whole fact that he could dual welded. The butterfly shoulder hinges there. Okay, and before we get him changed out into his more IDW aesthetic, I just wanted to go over the alternate head sculpts that it comes with. You can see his masthead here. And it doesn't really shine so much right now, but he does have excellent light piping. I wish I had a flashlight or something like that that I could use to light it, but at the moment I do not. Let's brighten this up here. Great job on the head sculpt. Since these don't unscrew or anything like that, you just pop it off the ball joint. And it pops right off. Alright. I'm not sure which one this is. This is the completely unmasked head. And for being this size, man, the detailing is incredible. Okay. And we'll also look at the cracked mask face. Now, I wanted to go ahead and do some jumping, flight poses, things like that, but I tried the Iron Factory stand, I tried a Sindel stand, I tried a Tamashi stand, and none of the pegs fit into that hole in the back. I don't know if it's just molded a bit too small, or it's made for something particular, but before I go ahead and do any modifications on that, I just want to make sure there's not a special stand or something like that that is specifically for this, you know? I like to keep stuff as much as possible. But yeah, all of these head sculpts, great detail, great job. Alright, and here it is next to the original Flame Toys, Kuro, Kara, Curry, Optimus Prime. This is a licensed figure, also non-transforming. And yeah, aesthetically you could see exactly where it gets its look from. And I think it does a pretty good job of emulating the larger scale figure. But yeah, obviously the fit, finish, things like that are a bit different. This is a larger die cast figure, you know, 4 inches compared to, what is he? 8 3/4 it looks like. So yeah, quite a bit more room to fine tune and detail and stuff like that. I hardly remember how this figure works, but I do know, yeah, that he has like LEDs and stuff like that on him all throughout. Just really cool, really detailed. And I love that they even got like the little details like the underlining or under not under lighting, but like the detailing inside of the chest and things like that, you know? So I think they knocked it out of the park. And this comparison it shows it even more, in my opinion. All right, and now what we're gonna go ahead and do is change it out to its IDW form. Start with the chest here. Just pops off 2 pegs. All right. And what's really cool here is that if you look, it has the same detailing on the inner chest that the Flame Toys does, so that's neat. These shoulder pieces, just slide them up. They clip on. Okay. The hip skirts, the ball joints pop off. Side leg pieces there, get those off. And then lastly, this piece on the back, get that off. Whoop. All right. Start with the backpack. Just pegs in, okay? The shoulder pieces, clip those on. And this is a smaller scale figure, so I'm trying to handle it lightly. Like, I don't want to say it's not durable or anything like that, but it's pretty much a 3D printed piece, so I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything to break it. And this was super hard to even get my hands on because the Taobao link and the TFW thread was, let me focus the camera, sheesh. The Taobao link in the TFW thread was sold out, so I kind of had to phone some friends to see if they could find one. And one of them was able to. Alright, got the hip skirts on. Well, let's get those side leg pieces on as well. Put that in, boom. Make sure it's right side. What? Okay. Chest piece. Put it on. Okay. And the last piece is, all right, we're going to use that forearm swivel. Boom. Boom. Turn those in. Make sure the hands are turned correctly. And from there, these just peg in. So, boom. And boom. All right. And I don't know why that happened, but there we go. All right. So pretty quick, right? Now I will tell you that these thrusters here, they can swing back and forth. They're molded spectacularly, so they look like they can go in and out like the Flame Toys. They don't, so don't try to do that too hard. You're gonna break it. So yeah, just in and out. That's it. Okay. Now with this is really cool because like the Flame Toys, it opens, boom, and the gun, don't exactly remember which way it slides in, so bear with me here for a second. All right, I actually got it right the first time. There's that. And then if you want, you can peg the axes onto the side as well. Boom. Boom. Oh, I don't know if I went over that. in this review yet, but the side skirts, I did have to heat those as well to get the weapons to peg in because they were popping out so tight. Okay. Articulation doesn't change at all. And there you go. And closing out this section of it, it's kind of a blast in the camera pose. I honestly really like this aesthetic. I almost like it better than the more flame toy style one. And it might lead me to buying 2 of these guys because, god dog, it's pretty darn good. And here it is next to Generation Toys' OPEX. I'm pretty sure this has LEDs in the head too, but let me see if the batteries are working or not. Nope, they are not. Long dead. But there you go. The Generation Toy OPEX Masterpiece Scale figure. My preferred Masterpiece Scaled Optimus in this aesthetic. So that's about 9.5 inches to the top of the antenna. And yeah, I think they did a great job of capturing the aesthetic on this great works piece. And a quick comparison to the Iron Factory. I think it's just called Ultimate Commander. It's their version of Optimus Prime. He does come with a regular Stormbringer type mold, but this is the whole armored up. They added like a kind of a, I guess, God Jinrai form to it as well. I don't remember how to transform this thing. I don't feel like looking up the instructions to learn how to retransform this thing, so this is the aesthetic that you're going to get with this one, but I just wanted to compare it or whatever. So, yeah. Alright, and closing this out, it's flanked by a number of Iron Factory figures. I don't know all of their names, I'm not going to lie. So, Hound, Cliffjumper, Drift, wow, Ultra Magnus, and Jetfire. I know this is Cygnus, and City Commander, I think it's like Ultimate Armor, I believe. Cliffjumper is one-man army. Optics Hunter, and I definitely don't know the Drift. So I was pretty close, but yeah, it fits right in with their figures in terms of size and whatnot. And again, just to give you guys a measurement here, right around 4 inches tall to the tip of the antenna. So honestly, awesome. Legend Scale Optimus, non-transforming. I mean, and that is what it is. If you need it to transform, not for you. But if you like articulation, aesthetic, things like that, just like the Flame Toys figure that it emulates, it's freaking fantastic. Once again, great work studio, GW-NO.01, and it says 01-C. It says the body and the parts. So I don't know if there was a release of this to where it just came with one part of this and then some of the accessories sold separately and things like that. I've looked on their Weibo and they kind of alluded to that, but I haven't seen anything that actually showed different releases besides this one. So I believe, from what I see, that this is the only version of this figure that's released with the parts for both the Flame Toys and the IDW style Optimus. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. In terms of recommendation, I don't know. I love it because it fits in with what I kind of collect and prefer on a larger scale, and they brought it down to Legends, the non-transforming, really nice aesthetic, hyper articulation, things like that. But at the end of the day, it is a product that I don't know if this is necessarily 3D printed, but it does have some parts that kind of have that kind of scan lined look on it and things like that. Like, it feels like the best 3D printed Transformer I've ever seen versus like a full on like the Iron Factory figures with that fit and finish of those. That's about the best way that I can describe it. Hopefully the photography brings out more detail. Gallery will be up soon on kumastyle.com, but yeah, there are areas, and like I showed you guys, that hand that needed to be wrapped to peg in, having to boil some parts, heat them up, however you want to do it, to get them to fit and fit correctly, things like that. So if you're wanting something that is just ready to play, out of the box, perfect joints, things like that, this may not be it. Who knows? I could have gotten a dud, but just with the way that this is produced, I don't think I did. And I got a feeling that's probably more of a norm than I'm going to be able to verify on this review, since most people who have it are overseas and whatnot. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. Stay safe.